Right, to begin, watch this. So guys, welcome back to Remove Before Race. As I climb out of, give me a sec, perhaps the most special AMG that we will ever, not perhaps, the most special AMG we'll ever have on the channel. It is the AMG ONE, finally here. This is F1 technology transferred directly to the road. Essentially, the 2016 F1 engine is in a road car, and all you need to do is press the button and it will work. It's an incredible feat of engineering. I've learned so much about this car today, and if you're an F1 or an AMG fan, or a petrol head in general, you're absolutely gonna love every single detail of this car. So let's not waste any time and check out this AMG's flagship, the AMG ONE Hypercar. So guys, finally the AMG ONE is finished. It's in its production guise here as a fully ready customer car. It's been a few years. It was first shown back in 2016. And now here it is, they've done it. They've actually brought an F1 car to the road. Now guys, before we take a look around it, there's so much about this car that I want to peel back the skin and show you. The most important thing has to, of course, be that F1 engine that was derived from the 2016 car. It's almost unchanged in this. So it is a 1.6 litre V6 with an electric gas turbocharger, which is a new development. But again, it comes from F1 for the first time on the road. We'll see it in the future in something like the next C63 as well. But let's talk a little bit about this engine, because there is nothing else like it on the road, and there probably never will be. Now, the first thing that you have to understand about the power setup in this car, it's not combustion engine alone. Much like F1, it's a mix between combustion and hybrid elements. So first we have our combustion unit. As I said, the V6 1.6 litre. This produces up to 574 brake horsepower by itself, and it revs all the way up to 11,000. That's just the combustion element of the car. Then we have two electric motors on our front axle here. These together provide 3 to 6 bhp together. So again, another element providing a huge amount of power, and that is completely electrical driven on the front. So we've got total electric motor power on the front and a hybrid on the rear. What's the hybrid? Let me break it down for you now. First, we have electrical power on our crankshaft. This is the MGU K, and it provides 163 brake horsepower, so that's in between the crankshaft leading to our engine. And then we have the MGU-H, which is the electric gas turbocharger. Like I said, you'll see this in the future, perhaps in the C63. This provides the final 122 brake horsepower to make a total of 1,063. I love the fact that they've got the letters 63 or the number 63 in there. Such a link to all of AMG's heritage. But yes, 1,063 brake horsepower. That's an incredible amount. And all of these different elements providing different amounts of energy, different amounts of torque, etc., leading to that final impressive figure. Now, unlike the F1 engine, which would require a rebuild in less than 10,000 kilometers, this engine will go all the way up to 50,000 kilometers when it needs then a revision done by AMG to make it again roadworthy. So again, huge amounts of work done for the durability of this engine, for the convenience of the customer on the road. All of this leads to a brand new 7-speed box made specifically for this car, which is integrated, in fact, into the body in white. The clutch itself has got a 4-disc carbon racing clutch, and in terms of the shift rods and the clutch itself, it's controlled hydraulically. So this you won't see in any standard AMG. This is all derived from F1 leading into this F1 powered road car. Now, of course, there's a lithium-ion battery in here, which is 8.4 kilowatts in size. So it's a small one, but it does give you up to 18 kilometers of electric-only range, which is pretty cool. What's interesting, again, linking to current and future e-performance AMG road cars is that the battery cells are liquid cooled, just like we found, for example, in the GT63 SE Performance, or perhaps the future C63 again, which is nice, linking the top AMG flagship to more standard road cars. So a pretty impressive overall package. What's the 0 to 60 and the other times? Let's talk about this. 0 to 60, on the face of it, doesn't sound super impressive. It's 2.9 seconds. It's the other figures that are really going to boggle your mind. 0 to 200, for example, reaching in just 7. And then 0 to 300 kilometers in a staggering 15.6 seconds, which is insane. Should this thing even be legal? I'm very thankful that it is. In terms of the body panels, our front and our rear, both made of carbon, our doors made of carbon. You come to the suspension, we've got a 5-link front suspension, 5-link rear. What's interesting about that is that it's linked directly into our gearbox. Again, all this flowing from F1. The coolest part are perhaps the push rod struts, which are transversely mounted on the rear. They look incredible, and they allow this car to do things that a normal road car simply cannot do, which is separating the roll stabilization from the heave. And again, it just takes this car to another level versus normal cars. Speaking of another level, as you've seen right at the start, and I keep doing it, what's interesting is how the suspension works depending on your normal highway modes in your driving modes, which I'll get into in a minute, and then the track modes where the car dips into this fantastic track mode. It dips by 37 millimeters on the front, 30 on the rear. And of course, your aero comes into play, the large wing as well comes into play. And you can see it's fully ready in attack mode. Again, all of this, it just makes the AMG ONE so special. What's cool is, as I'll show you inside later, the DRS mode button will bring down the flaps, retract part of the wing, and allow the car to be more aerodynamic and thus reach higher speeds quicker. And then as soon as you brake, that will deactivate and you'll get all of your downforce back, which of course reduces a little bit because it's called, drag reduction. Now, in terms of aerodynamics, you can't get away from design. So guys, just behold, first of all, the immense presence of this thing is ridiculous. Look at those front arches, and the rear, much the similar. But I tell you what, the actual size of the thing, genuinely, when you're looking around it, is not that big. I mean, to me, when you look at it, it looks kind of smaller than an AMG GT, which I'm sure it's not, but it's just the optical illusion of how short the overhangs are, and you're basically covering an F1 car with the most aerodynamic shape that you could possibly have. Interesting features here, like the slats above here that we spoke about. You can see on the Cup 2 tyres, you've actually got the AMG ONE silhouette like we had in the GT Black series as well. Aerodynamically speaking, the wheels are aerodynamically optimized. You can get magnesium ones as well. You see the cutouts here, they allow for heat to dissipate from the brakes. So everything is a tool for a purpose in this car. No cut is here for no reason. Nothing is just design based. It's all done for a reason. These front air intakes here, very typical AMG. You'd liken them to almost any other AMG road car, which is nice. It's a nice link, to our normal road cars. Similar with our lights here with the tick graphic, and even the shape inside, very much like the AMG logo. And you'll see that again on the rear. Hand-painted star. Just like the F1 car, identical, hand-painted on every single car. How special is that for a customer? It blows my mind. It's incredible. And then when you come around here, this is the special motorsport package, which gives you additionally the F1 stars, the Petronas colors, etc. Again, all hand-painted, including on the wing back here. Fantastic. Again, aerodynamically speaking, we've got our fin here. This helps with cornering stability, so better at high speeds, etc. So again, another aerodynamic element. The wing itself, incredible. Look at the size of that. My hand pales in comparison. And as I mentioned, the lights, again, they look like AMG logos, don't they? And the diffuser, good God. I can't wait to hear, again, what this car sounds like. What are these incredible pipes going to sound like? I have no idea. But the presence of the thing is just absolutely mind-blowing. EV charging here, just like a normal car. Look at that plug. You could put that anywhere and it would work. And this was the whole operating concept, that they wanted the car to be as normal and as usable for your standard customer as possible. Okay, that's probably pressurized and you'd have to press a button to, I'm not going to break that. Let's just leave that, shall we? Now finally, let me show you inside the car, which is only slightly special. Only slightly special. Good God, look at this thing. Let's jump in, shall we, guys? Right, guys, this is really, really special. And there's some really cool highlights that I want to show you. And I want to do it from first-person view with an iPhone 13, because with the wide-angle camera, I think you'll be able to appreciate it a little bit more. Now, the first thing that you see when you get in this car is, of course, the F1-inspired steering wheel, just flat from the top, flat from the bottom. Lewis Hamilton would be very at home with this. And then the other thing, of course, very intimidating, is the door itself. Let's close that up here. Release of the door is interesting. You've got a lovely open handle here that you pull, and then you have to push the door quite hard, just like a race car, in order to get it all open. So I like all these little things. And again, there is familiar switch gear, but generally everything around the One looks really quite new and unique to this specific car, which is nice. Particularly the steering wheel, which is a bit of familiar and it's a bit of unfamiliar as well. The familiar bits being the airbag, the control switches here from MGU-H that we're used to, and then the driving mode control switches as well, which you see will fire up here with our different modes that I'll get onto in a minute. But everything else is unique, especially the graphics, particularly for AMG ONE only, which I think as a customer you're expecting when you come in the car. So that's nice. MGU-H has been tailored specifically for this car. Now, a couple of unique things on the steering wheel. We've got our high beam button, and all these buttons, they've got this lovely click to it, which is here. It's the blue one. You've got DRS, as I explained earlier, how that works. Neutral in green as well. Pass mode, very interesting. It's almost like a full attack mode, regardless of what driving mode you're in. You press that and it will drop to the lowest gear, to the most aggressive setting, and give you the full attack power as you need it. So that's really cool. You'll notice pit button in here as well, which is adjustable on your speed, etc. Working exactly like an F1 car. This stuff is amazing. Now let's talk about driving modes. There are 6 different ones, okay? And all of them are race derived, which is brilliant. So your first one is race safe, which is the closest thing that you can get to comfort in this car. So you get a comfort suspension mode in that, for example, and it starts off in EV mode and then goes into combustion when it needs to be. Then you've got race itself, which is mainly combustion. And then you have EV mode only, as I said, and individual mode, which you can tailor. These are all your highway modes, and they give you the front lift system if you need it as well. Then you've got the race and track only modes, which are Race Plus and Strat 2. What's Strat 2? Just like F1, it's Strategy 2. Mind blowing. How cool is that? All those, again, accessible through here. And this is really, you know, you recognize it from your normal AMG car. So immediately a customer can come in and they can experience that, and it's just normal for them, right? Engine stop button is in a really cool place, but again, normal stop button. So you're familiar with it. Lovely red light there, your normal navigation, etc. buttons within there. The unique screens I already showed you for the Project One being there, and a few small storage areas, nothing significant. You've got your fire extinguisher behind here. No rear view mirror, because instead there is a rear view camera. The other amazing thing, the carbon bucket seats here, which are integrated into the mononoke. Again, they just look incredible. Everything about this interior, so special. I feel like I could spend hours talking about this car. I haven't got hours today. Hopefully we'll have a chance to drive this one day. We can delve even deeper into how all of these various things work as almost like a virtual F1 team helping the customer drive. That's essentially what this car is and why it can work on the road without any further assistance. Guys, I really hope you've enjoyed this. It's been an absolute blast for me to look at this car in person, get you guys some of that info that we've been dying for since 2016. So if you've enjoyed this video, please do like, subscribe to RBR most of all, and I'll see you guys next time.